You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about Caitlin Clark and the further fallout stemming from that. Some people have called it a foul. Some people have called it assault. Some people have called it a hip check, a forearm shiver, a bionic elbow off the top rope that WNBA thug Chennedy Carter decided to levy on Caitlin Clark during the Fever and Chicago Sky game, of which we saw Angel Reese celebrate. Well, the fallout continues. We've got one commentator out there that is saying if the WNBA does not get this handled and get a grip on the hate that's and the physical retaliations that are happening from these WNBA players on Caitlin Clark, the league is committing suicide. You guys have heard me say something similar on this channel for the last couple of weeks. Before we ever even got to the tipping point that is now a national story across the media spectrum right now, and places like, well, right here, you're watching me, and these videos, Austin Rivers, NBA player, has come out. He has slammed the WNBA, and the players that are hating on Caitlin Clark, Martina Navratilova, of course, one could call her the GOAT of tennis players. I noticed Chris Everett, also one of the GOATs in tennis, came out and was like, no, this isn't cool. This isn't cool at all. And something I think a lot of us have been very interested to hear would be Christie side's response, the coach of the Fever, because she got asked about the fact that it feels and looks an awful lot like Caitlin Clark's teammates are not taking up for her, right? We've had several NBA players, Draymond Green, Chandler Parsons, others, come out and say, look, we need some kind of an enforcer on that team. The fact is, across time in the NBA, there have been a lot of superstars and certain players on the team. When those superstars got physically dragged on the court, the quote-unquote enforcers would step up and regulate the situation. In other words, you cause harm to him, we cause harm to you. Now, there shouldn't be any harm in any of this. But unfortunately, and look, I'm sorry, but I think a lot of this is racially motivated. We've seen and heard a lot about race in all of this. I think the response online, it's very, how do I put this? It's driven along racial lines, unfortunately. I will say this, a lot of black people are coming out and defending Caitlin Clark in this situation. But there are still some out there that are condoning the thuggish and antics of these players on the court. So, Christie sides, this is what she had to say when asked about the teammates stepping up for Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, well, I think you saw it in the Seattle game. Victoria Vivians and Caitlin got tied up a little bit, and you see our team go out, go help, right? Like, that's who they are. I mean, they are connected. I think the play that happened last night happened as everybody was running down the floor. I didn't even see it until after the press conference last night because, we were looking this way and it happened down there. So I think it just was a situation where no one really saw it happen in that moment.
Okay, and if you didn't quite get that, I think you saw in the Seattle game, Vivians and Caitlin got tied up a little bit, and you see our team go help. I think it was a situation Saturday where no one saw it happen. The problem is, I think there's some videos and things like that out there that doesn't necessarily support that argument. So it's going to be interesting going forward to see how this plays out. The league is in a dangerous spot right now because I said the other day, you're seeing a situation and all you had to do is you go online and look at the videos of all the young kids wearing Caitlin Clark t-shirts that showed up to the New York Liberty game in New York and how much they love this this young lady's talent and her persona on the basketball court, and it is the very reason you have to take care of this. Because those parents, and some are already talking about it, have said they're going to pull the viewership and their money away from this league. They're not going to allow their kids to watch that kind of thing happen. They don't want their kids to see it on any level. In other words, and we talked about how family unfriendly the WNBA has come across for years. Well, you've got traditional family values that just walked into your league. And with that comes a lot of money and a lot of eyeballs. You better respect it. So this was said by Guy Benson over at Fox News. Quote, the WNBA has been a failure forever. It just has been, the Fox News contributor Guy Benson said. They don't make money. They have not turned a profit ever. And you look at the interest at the college level, at the WNBA level, in Caitlin Clark, the jersey sales, the ticket sales, the TV ratings. This league would be suicidal to not protect its most valuable asset in the history of the league. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Martina Navratilova came out. Quote, the players in the WNBA need to realize that Clark is helping all of them now and in the long run. Caitlin is the tide that will raise all boats. Absolutely. Navratilova further explained that she believed Clark's impact on the WNBA game will have a greater financial effect on the league. Seriously, it makes no sense. They are literally they're watching their gravy train dry up, so to speak. This could be the worst business decision. If the commissioner does not get this worked out, if they allow this to continue, this could be league suicide. It could be a wrap for this league. So, Austin Rivers came out.
What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's enjoying their Saturday. I wanted to make this video about Caitlin Clark real quick because I've seen a lot happen with her, a lot of jealousy, hateful comments come her way. Listen, I'm an NBA guy. Obviously, I covered the NBA as well. So I was going to just stay in my lane and just kind of fall back and let other people speak out on her behalf. For me, enough's enough with this. First and foremost, let's just get right into it. Let's be honest. Women's basketball as a whole, for the longest time, did not garner a lot of attention and the proper respect. For the longest time, the WNBA was synonymous for a lot of things. Not making a lot of money, actually losing money, to be completely honest. Their athletes not being compensated properly, their athletes not being treated properly, and as a whole, their sport and brand of basketball in terms of women playing basketball did not garner really proper attention. Nobody really cared or paid attention to it, which is a damn shame because you girls have been great. You have been world-class athletes. I grew up appreciating, I'm a hooper though, but I grew up watching the Beasts play in the WNBA. I grew up watching Diana Taurasi do her thing, and Sue Bird wow us for her savvy, and Candace Parker and Lisa Leslie go after it, and Maya Moore and Cheryl Swoops, and the list goes on. There's been greatness in the WNBA. You guys have been great women athletes. But for whatever reason, mainly due to ignorance, your sport has not garnered the proper attention and respect that it's long overdue. And now this woman comes along and brings the world in and is now giving y'all that proper attention and respect. And you guys are getting these brand deals and getting this money. And instead of being appreciative and acknowledging that, you guys are like coming at her with these like hate-ass comments talking about, oh, well, it's not just because of her, blah, 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 blah. Last night our game was sold out and she didn't play. Last night we flew charter and she wasn't on that flight. Let's stop it. It's not a coincidence you guys are just now chartering flights her rookie year. It's not a coincidence that now that she's in the WNBA, everyone's paying attention to the WNBA. I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot more people are. Okay? It's not a coincidence. It's the Caitlin Clark effect. Now, are there a lot of hands that can be raised of people who had a part to play? For sure. Angel Reese, Paige, Haley, Juju, the list goes on. There's women athletes, basketball players, and coaches who could raise their hand and say they had a part to play in the awareness that has grown in the game of women's basketball. But no more than Caitlin Clark. If you girls were Destiny's Child, she would be Beyonce. If all the girls in collegiate sports were a band and they were in sync, she would be Justin Timberlake. She was the main attraction. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
All right, and that's where we're going to stop that, but he's 100% correct. I mean, what a great way to put it. You know, if this was in sync, she's Justin Timberlake. If this was Destiny's Child, she is Beyonce. That really is a fantastic way to just some brutal truths here about what she means to the league and to the success in this league continuing, because this is the WNBA's last shot. Are you going to side with the activists that were in the league that caused people to, in large part, not want to tune in because all they wanted to talk about was social justice and race and politics and activism? Or do you want to actually grow your league, grow the salaries, grow the television contracts, the merch sales, the ticket revenue, all of that? Because, look, I did find that that statistic I saw. Caitlin Clark's one of 2 players to ever score 150 points, have 50 assists and 50 rebounds in their first 10 games ever. She's one of 2. And even though she had a really bad game yesterday, and under the circumstances mentally, who could blame her? But she has come in and she has proved she can play in this league. Regardless of what the haters want to say, those statistics bear it out. And when she doesn't have to come straight off a college season like she did last year, and hopefully not have to deal with the worst schedule in the history of the WNBA to start next year, and maybe later on, because they actually get 4 days off now. And I suspect this team is going to recover, and they're going to come out and start playing better. But, man, if they don't solve this issue with these players just walking around, being mad, and trying to take her head off, this league will die. That's all there is to it. Tell me what you think. Is the WNBA ultimately going to commit suicide? I think it's a real possibility. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.